Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I will tell you how you can fill a form which is called Form 80. So this form where you're gonna put your all information about your travel history, your residential history, your employment history. So Home Affairs can assess you the information you are giving to them. So how you can find this form? So you have to fill this form 80 on your Google, and there is a authentic website which is amy.homeaffairs.gov.au. When you click on it, the PDF will be open in front of you. So you should fill this form in block letters, so caps lock on. And part A, applicant details. So you should provide your family name and all given names. If like most of the cases, like Indian passport holders, they have all given names, like only given names in their passport. So there is a note given, like if you have only one name, please write it in the family name field. So you have to write it here, and you have to write your male, female, whatever you are. Your date of birth will be here, your suburb of birth where you born, your town, city of birth, and state, and your country. So these are no for me. Are you Russian descent or Chinese commercial code if you are using? So no. Have you been known by any other name? In my case, no. If you do know by any other name, you have to provide your details here. Have you ever had a different date of birth to the one at shown? Question number one. So I have that. I don't have any different date of birth, so no. Do you have currently citizenship from any country? So yes. I have citizenship of India. So how you gain the citizenship? So you have to write it by birth, and you have to write down your date of birth here. Do you hold or have you held citizenship from any country? No. Do you currently have permanent residency rights in any country other than those declared? No. And let's go question number part B9. Do you have a current passport travel document? Yes. You have to write there your passport number here, your country of passport, India, date of issue. Is this the original issue date? Yes. Date of expiry, your nationality, place of issue, everything is written on your passport. So next is name on the document. If you have the same name on the document like your passport, and the name you write down here is the same, so you have to write it same as question number one. If it's different, so you have to write it your family name and your given name. So in my case it's same, so I write down same as question number one. Let's move to the question number 10. Do you have any other current passport or travel document? No. Have you ever had a previous passport travel documents? If you do have previous passport which is expired, stolen, or anything happened to that passport, you have to take care. Or if any other thing happened to the passport, you have to give details. And if you remember the document details, you have to press yes and give information. If you don't remember the details of that document, so you have to press no. In my case, I don't have any previous passport, so I will say no and go to part C. So you have to give your identity documents. It should be your national identity documents or numbers, including your birth registration number, social security cards, etc. So how you can do this? You can do this by, like, you have to put your information here, like your in India, like your pan card, your Aadhaar card. So yes, and you have to write down here your, like, Aadhaar card and country of issue India, and you have to write it the number here. Okay. And if you have pan card, you have to provide details here. If you have your birth certificate, you have to write down here birth registration. So you have to write it here India, and you have to write here your number, or any what country from you are from. So next is part D. Part D is about address and contact details. Do you have an email address? Yes. So you have to put your email address here. Do you have current contact telephone number? Yes, and you have to write your telephone number here. Your address history for the last 10 years, you have to write down here your all history. If you are out of these like row and column, so how you can do it? You have to remember, like, question number 17. So you have to go like bottom of the page and page number 19. Okay, this is the page number 19, so you have to write down here the information left. Like you have to write down here question number 17, and you can write down here the information which you think is left. So you have to write down here. Okay, so we were in question number 17. So we are going back to question number 17, and yeah, we were here, right? So your dress history for the last 10 years. So it should be your um, Australian history or anywhere you living. So this history is about from you from the date of you born, and your like currently where you are living. So you have to put all your history here. Next question is part E, and is talking about your international travel moments. So international travel moments is about where you going like out of Australia. If you are going if you sorry went your own country, like in India or in your own country, so you do need to provide information about that and why you reason for visit. You have to write down here like family visit or work or study, holiday or leisure trip, what type of trip you have done. So you have to write all the information here. Again, if you are out of this row and column, so what you can do, you can go question number sorry page number 19, and you have to write the question number 18, and you can give more information about your travel history. So this is question number F, employment. So you have to write down your employment, your month and year when you started, and name of the business where you working, type of a business, like what type of a business it is, like it's a construction, it's a healthcare. So you have to write down here your occupation, what type of job you are doing and your duties. You have to write it here, and full address of the business and company. You have to write their building number, street name, suburb, town, city, state, anything, or country. So this is for your past 10, maybe 10 years they asking for, or maybe it's from your birth. Yeah, this is also from your birth. So you have to write down here, and if you are out of this, you have to go 19 page and write down question number 19 and gives information which are left. So, part G is about your education. So, you have to give information about your education here. So, education is about territory, education, qualification. So, college, vocational schools, universities, research thesis, fellowships, training, skill, trade qualification. If you have done diploma, bachelor degree and a master's degree, PhD, anything you have done, you have to write down here. It's full name of the institution, full name of the course you have completed, withdraw, or you currently enrolled, your campus or address of institution, and your country. So here will be, you have to write here your Indian or your Australian, all the education history. Okay. Next is proposed travel or further stay. So are you currently in Australia? Yes. If you are not in currently Australia, you have to tick no and give information about this. If you are currently in Australia, yes, and you have to go to question number 25. So question number 25 is what are your main reason for remaining in Australia? You can write it like career opportunities, and moreover like good standard of living, whatever you want, why you want to stay in Australia, right? And question number 26 is list the town cities you will visit during your further stay in Australia where you want to visit. So you can give information about the cities where you will visit during your further stay in Australia. You can fill this form or you can leave it if you want. Give details of your arrival in Australia, your arrival date when you first arrive in Australia. You have to give details here, and city of arrival here. And are you applying for a temporary visa? If you are going to apply for your TR or anything, yes. If you are not, like you are going to apply for your PR, so in that case you should tick no, and you have to go part I and leave these ones. So next is the part I address in Australia. Are you currently in Australia? So yes, and you have to go question number 33. If you are not in Australia, so you have to fill this all information about located outside Australia. Do you know any details of places you will stay? If you know about the details of you are going to live in Australia, so you have to give information about here. Will you stay at any addresses or no? And go to part J. So if in my case, I'm in Australia, so I need to go to question number 33, located in Australia. So, do you have any other addresses in Australia that have not been declared at question number 17? So, no. Go to part J. So this is part J. This is about Australian visa history. Are you currently in Australia? Yes. So I have to give my details of current visa. So current visa is my TR. So I have to write down here temporary visa, reason for journey working, name used on entry. You have to write your name here. Place of issue you can write down here online, and arrival date you have to write when your visa you got your visa, right? So you have to write the date. Of that visa. So like you have to write it here, temporary or working visa, and here you have to write reason for journey like working, and here your name, place of issue online, and arrival date. You have to check your visa. When you got your visa, you have to write the date here. And if you are came here in Australia on student visa, so you have to give information here. Have you been to Australia before? Yes. So what type of visa you have? So I can write a student visa, and reason for study, name used on, you have to write your name here, place of issue online, and your arrival date. If you're still you no departure, you don't have departure date because you are on temporary visa now, so you can leave this blank, but you have to write your arrival date, like first arrival date when you arrive in Australia. Okay, so next is part K, about your character. So you have to say yes or no according to your circumstances or what things are applicable on you. Have you or any other person included in this application ever been charged with any offense? This is currently awaiting legal action. So you have to tick yes or no in your case. If you provide, like, if you answered yes to any question at 36, so you have to give your reason or anything here, right? Okay, so these are the questions. Next is part L. Have you undertaken any military service? If you are taking any military service like compulsory, conscriptions, military training, voluntary, professional, you have to say yes and give reason about that. If you're not are if you're not taking any military service, so say no, and you have to go to part M. Employed by intelligence or security agency. If you're employed by an intelligence, so you say yes and give details of organization, roles, and dates you served. In my case is no. And deportation, have you ever been excluded and asked to leave or deported or removed from any country? So if your case is yes, give details. In my case is no, so tick no. And have you ever been refused a visa to any country? If you have been refused a visa to any country, so you say yes, and you have to provide the details of refusal, your country and circumstances of refusals, like what's the reason they gave you, like why they refuse your visa. And part P is citizenship refusal. Have you ever been refused or citizenship of any country? So if yes, give details. If no, then tick no, and let's go part Q. So do you have a partner? If you are a single, so you have to say no. If you have a partner, so yes, and you have to uh, give details about him or her, like husband. Family name will be go here. Given names go here. Any other name if they have, you have to put their sex here. Date of birth will be go here, and Chinese commercial codes. So for like us it's not applicable, so just write down an A, not applicable. Place of birth, you have to check your husband passport and everything is written there. Citizenship and year granted, so you have to write there like India, citizenship India, and year granted. Date of birth, you have to write down here date of birth. And country of current residence, where he living. So Australia. If your husband is living in India or any other country, so you have to write down here migrating with you. If he's migrating with you, so yes. If he's not migrating with you, no. But in my case, he is with me, so migrating with you. Do you have a children? If you have a children, you have to give information about your child. If not, then no. In my case, suppose I have a child, so I have a relationship like my daughter, and you have to write your family name, your given her given name, her sex female, and date of birth, and not applicable, her place of birth, and citizenship of year granted India, and her date of birth, and where she living, Australia, and migrating with you, yes. If you have more than one child, so you have to give information about her. Okay, so next part is about, do you know details of your parents? If you do know details of your parents, so you have to say yes and give your parents details here. So you have to write here father, you have to write it mother, family name, any other name, male, female. If they are deceased, so you have to write here deceased. And if they are migrating with you, yes. If you are not migrating with you, they want us to live in India, so no. So you have to give information your father and mother here. Do you have sibling, your brother, sisters? You have to give information about them in these sections. Siblings include full, half, and adopted brother and sister. So write down here a relationship to you brother, their family name, given name, mother name, your date, his date of birth, her date of birth, and town, city where they're living, citizenship and year granted, migrating with you, yes or no, country of current residence where they're living. So next is 46 other traveling family members. If you do have family members who gonna travel with you, so you have to write it yes and give details about here, like your nieces, nephew, cousins, in-law, grandparents. So you have to give information about them here. If no, and then press no, and you have to go to question number 47. Do you have any other personal contacts in Australia? So you can give your husband details here, like you have to write down his given name or family name, or sex, female, male, female. You have to write down here your husband or partner, your sister, aunt, friend, whatever. You can give information about his or her. Next question is, do you have any other personal contact in Australia? So no. And let's move to the next question, which is 49. Are you being sponsored or associated with the business or organization in Australia? No. Go to part S. So I have to go on declaration. So leave this one because you don't need to fill this one, 50 and 51. If you have being sponsored or associated with business or organization in Australia, so press yes, and you have to give details about everything here, like 51, 52. You have to write down details about that, right? If you are not being sponsored, so say no, and you have to part S, you have to fill this, like you have to sign here and put the today's date. So how you can sign here, this was the main thing, and everybody is like how we can sign here. So one thing you can do, you can print out and sign it. Second thing you can do here is like this one, add text. You can text add here, and you can sign here. Okay, so this is the second option. In my case, I did my sign like this, so it worked. So you can do it like this. Okay, so this is the 54 question number, which is about your additional information. I told you if you are out of row and column in question, any question, like your employment history, your travel history, so you can write down here like question number, and you can write down more information about your travel history, residential history, which is left, right? So these were the steps, and I think it's very easy, so you can do it by yourself, and by also watching my video, so it's become more easy for you. And if you need more information or if you need help, so do comment on my comment section, so I will definitely help you as much I can. And the thing is, when you going to fill this form, so you need to be very careful, because they're gonna assess you on the information which you are providing to Home Affairs. So best of luck, guys, for your future. And if you like my video, do subscribe my channel, and I will see you in the next video.